Hi everyone. I'm Jonathan's Media Shack here once again. And today, to celebrate the release of Disney and Pixar's Turning Red on Disney Plus, I'm going to do a review on Disney and Pixar's Up that came in the year of 2009. So basically what the plot is, as a young boy, Carl Fredricksen idolizes explorer Charles Muntz. But after he is accused of presenting a fake giant bird skeleton from Paradise Falls in South America, Muntz returns to the area intent on clearing his name, by capturing a living specimen. Carl meets fellow Muntz fan, Ellie, who confides her desire to move her clubhouse, an abandoned house in the neighborhood, to a cliff overlooking Paradise Falls. The two later marry and live in the rebuilt house, with Carl working as a balloon salesman and Ellie a tour guide at the zoo. After Ellie suffers a miscarriage, the couple decide to refocus and begin saving for a trip to Paradise Falls, but are constantly forced to spend their savings on more urgent needs. Years pass, and Carl decides to arrange the trip as a surprise for Ellie. On the day that Carl plans to tell Ellie, she falls ill, and is hospitalized, dying soon after. Sometime later, a now retired Carl stubbornly holds out in the house, while the neighborhood around him is replaced by skyscrapers. After Carl accidentally strikes a construction worker during a mishap, the court deems him a public menace, requiring his relocation to an assisted living facility. However, Carl resolves to keep Ellie's promise, turning his house into a makeshift airship using countless helium balloons and flying away. Russell, an 8-year-old Asian American wilderness explorer who visits Carl in an effort to earn his final merit badge for assisting the elderly, becomes an accidental stowaway. Before Carl can land and send Russell home, they encounter a storm that propels the house to South America. The house lands on a mesa opposite Paradise Falls. Carl and Russell harness themselves to the still buoyant house, and begin to walk it across the mesa, hoping to reach the falls before the balloons deflate. Russell encounters a giant, colorful flightless bird, whom he names Kevin. They then meet Doug, a friendly golden retriever who wears a special collar with a device that translates his speech into English. He joins them on their trek. A pack of fierce dogs led by the Doberman Pinscher Alpha take Carl, Russell, Doug, and Kevin to their master, Charles Muntz. He invites them aboard his dirigible and talks about his search for the bird. Carl realizes Muntz's obsession with finding the bird has driven him mad, to the point of killing innocent travelers whom he suspects of seeking the bird themselves. When Russell sees the skeleton's resemblance to Kevin, Muntz becomes suspicious of their intentions. The dogs pursue Carl, Russell, and Doug until Kevin saves them. Russell urges Carl to help Kevin get home and reunite with her chicks, but then Muntz captures her. He starts a fire beneath Carl's house, forcing him to choose whether to rescue it or Kevin. Carl chooses his home. Carl looks through Ellie's childhood scrapbook and discovers that she filled in the blank pages with photos of their marriage, accompanying a note written from her hospital bed, thanking him for the adventure and encouraging him to have a new one. Reinvigorated, he goes outside, only to see Russell set out after Kevin using a leaf blower and some balloons to fly. Carl lightens his house by throwing out furniture and keepsakes. Muntz captures Russell, but Carl and Doug board the dirigible and free both Russell and Kevin. When Muntz pursues them to the tethered house, Carl lures Kevin back to the airship using a piece of chocolate. Muntz leaps after them, but his leg catches on balloon strings, and he falls to his death. The house descends out of sight. Carl and Russell reunite Kevin with her chicks before returning home in Muntz's airship. Russell finally receives his assisting the elderly badge, and Carl presents Russell with a grape soda bottle cap that Ellie gave to Carl when they first met, which he now dubs the Ellie badge. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Carl, the house lands on the cliff beside Paradise Falls, fulfilling his promise to Ellie. And that's basically what the plot is for the entire film. And now, for my thoughts of this movie. I thought that this was a great Pixar film. I'll tell you the reasons why. 1. The animation for this movie is absolutely spectacular, especially when it comes to Pixar films. 2. The music in this film sounds wonderful. 3. The voice acting was splendiferous, especially with Edward Asner's character, Carl Fredricksen, who was a hilarious, ill-humored, but yet, warm-hearted and lovable character. 4. The plot for this movie was amazing, and interesting. 5. Anyone who had anticipated with this movie had done an outstanding job. 6. The villain in that movie was great, especially when he tried to do something menacing, but yet his plans ended up foiled. 7. There were some very emotional moments in this film. One example, when Carl's wife died due to her illness, was really heartbreaking, because he was going to surprise her, especially when they both kept their promise years ago. 8. The characters' designs are great. 9. The dog, named Doug, was very funny, and very cute both at the same time. 10. I find this to be one of Pixar's finest work, along with the Toy Story franchise, and a few other Pixar films. 11. The characters were very likable, charming, and good people. 12. The ending of the film was very heartfelt. And finally, 13. The movie itself can have a very warm-hearted sense of humor at times. And, for my final rating for Disney and Pixar's Up, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 7. Outstanding Pixar film. But anyways, this will conclude my movie review for today. Thanks for watching, folks. Make sure you comment, like this video, subscribe to me, turn on notifications, and also, don't forget to send me a request. I'm Jonathan's Media Shack here, signing off, and I will see you guys next time on my next video. Goodbye.